And number 2 on our agenda is declaration of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. Does anybody have an interest to declare? I have no hands up. Our counselor Jeff Lackey is joining us virtually. So hello, Mr. Lackey on the screen. So I'll read the meeting introduction. Personal information collected at this public hearing is collected under the authority of the Planning Act and will be used to assist in making a decision on this matter. All names, addresses, opinions, and comments are collected and form part of the minutes which are available to the public. Questions regarding this collection should be forwarded to the Director of Planning. Purpose of public meetings is to present applications in a public forum. Following presentations by the applicant or staff, council members will be afforded an opportunity to ask questions for clarification or further information. The meeting will then be open to the public for comments and questions. When you speak, please provide your name and address for recording in the minutes. All comments should be directed to myself, the chair of the meeting. The applicant will be provided an opportunity to address public questions once all members of the public have made their submissions. Following council's decision, notice will be circulated in accordance with the Planning Act. If a specified person or public body would otherwise have an ability to appeal the decision of the council of the corporation of the township of Leeds and the Thousand Islands to the Ontario Land Tribunal, but the specified person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the township before the bylaw is passed, the specified person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision. So after saying all of that, we'll move forward with the purpose of the meeting, which is 3.1 D14-2023-01175 Benson Park Road. Madam Planner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And through you, I'll just share my screen. So this application this evening, this public meeting, is for a proposed zoning bylaw amendment for 75 Benson Park Road. The lot area of the subject property is approximately 0.21 hectares with approximately 27 meters of frontage on Benson Park Road and approximately 31 meters of frontage on the St. Lawrence River. And the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is to rezone the water portion of the property to a special exception environmental protection zone to permit an existing marine facility, being a boat port, on the property to include a rooftop deck, and to permit the expansion of the marine facility to include a finger dock and boat lifts. With respect to the upland portion of the property, it's proposed to rezone that portion to a special exception island residential zone to facilitate the redevelopment of the property with a new larger dwelling. Notice for this public meeting was mailed on August 20th to all owners of property within 120 meters. And it's my understanding that no public comments have been received to date. And there's a recommendation for council's consideration on the council portion of the agenda this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Planner. Questions from council? Okay. Councillor, maybe go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, another flat top that we have had many of. The special exception, and I know we're going to get into this a little later too, I guess, on the reason for some of the changes that have happened to this property. Yeah, never mind.
So
I
you're
had
not
another train
asking.
of thought and I was going somewhere else. So
Okay.
we'll leave it until later. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough. Any further comments or questions? Oh, my apologies. Sorry about that. Not used to somebody being on the screen again. Go ahead, Councillor Lackey.
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Thank you. This has come before us and was approved other than one specific item, I believe. Am I correct in saying that? This has come back to us because of an addition to something that we've already approved, correct?
Go ahead.
Through you, we had a public meeting on this, I believe it was earlier this year. There were some other items identified subject to further staff review that required further amendments, which is why we're bringing it back. So there were a few details that weren't fully fleshed out. Additional information was required. I believe at the time, the proposed zoning amendment was for the house, or no, actually, sorry, I think it was for the boathouse and not the house. So subject to further review, it was identified that the house required further relief as it was required to address the setbacks for the front yard as well as the lot coverage, which is why the application was amended to come back and being brought back for another public meeting so that the applicant didn't have to come back for a second zoning bylaw amendment to correct those matters.
Okay, again, for clarification, I believe we approved the house. There was an issue. The pool was already there. The septic, they were putting in a new septic. We're gonna try and use the existing well. And the boathouse roof was in that first meeting. And as far as I can see in this report, the only thing that's changed is the finger dock. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, are the lifts already there?
So
Just-
through you for clarification, it was brought forward for a public meeting. The finger dock and the lifts were not addressed in the original public meeting or in the original application, which has now been amended to include those features. So no decisions were made. It was just a public meeting that was held. And we asked for it to be adjourned to allow the applicant to add the additional information to the application so that we could then bring it back comprehensively to council with a new public meeting and recommendation.
Through you, your worship, thank you very much. Crystal clear. No other questions.
Thank you. Further comments or questions from council? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Fode.
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you. Did I hear our planner right that the area is 0.21 hectares?
Through you, Madam Chair. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, which is a half acre. I assume it's already been measured and all these changes, including a larger dwelling and the septic, and as Councillor as Councillor Lackey had referred to, I assume the room is there to accommodate all this future change. Is that correct?
Through you, yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I see no further hands up here around the table. So I will go to the public. If there's any public, if you wish to speak, you can put your hand up and we will unmute you. So if you'd like to speak and you're on the call. I have no hands up. Is there anybody? So there's one individual here in the gallery that would like to speak. So I'll ask you, sir, to come up to the podium and speak. Lindsay, can you make sure that the microphone is on, please?
I may have missed some of your address, but with hearing problems, you have to speak very slowly for me to follow it. But I'd like to, my name is George Carscallon. I live at 65 Benson Park Road. And my question, it pertains to the, really the second item of this. The roof of the existing marine facility to be used as a sun deck. And that, I don't understand that. If I was to put a stone patio out in my backyard where I could sit on a lawn chair and watch the bird feeders, watch the sun in the day, enjoy it, read a book. That's all that goes on the sun deck above the boat slip. It's not used for anything else. It's just a leisure facility. And to think that it's being denied doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what comment you may have to that.
This isn't, nothing's being denied, sir. So the application has come forward for, because there's a number of issues with the property that combined don't make it fit in the.
I recognize that,
Okay.
but I'm just saying the one of the issue that makes no sense to me is the making an issue out of the roof of the boat slip to be used as a deck area.
So the
It-
way that the zoning is written currently, right now, it's the zoning that is the issue. So the zoning does not automatically allow for the leisure space on top of a flat top roof. And that's why it has to be part of this application.
Can follow.
Go ahead.
Thank you through you. So the use of the amenity space or the flat deck does require a zoning bylaw amendment. But-
I'm sorry.
It does
I-
require zoning. It does,
I can turn hearing aids up as high as they will go, but the brain won't process the verbiage.
okay.
For normal speech, it has to be very slow.
So to use the sun deck needs an amendment to the bylaw. But there are other pieces like side yard setbacks and the size that also requires amendments to the zoning bylaw. So all of those little pieces are being brought forward tonight with a recommendation. Staff are recommending approval to support what's being requested.
Is the sun deck considered anything more than a leisure facility? Yes, no,
No,
just a leisure facility. And that's what I'm saying. I put a stone patio in my backyard. I can sit and watch the birds at the bird feeder. I can read a book and enjoy the sun. And that's just leisure. And surely that's not subject to variance.
No, it is not.
No, well then
But-
why would a sun deck on it? That's
Be- Because it's a structure
I cannot, I appreciate,
and it needs to be safe.
it's not taking any more space.
Agreed,
It's the roof. But-
agreed.
And it has to be in accordance to the building code, for sure.
That is correct. So,
I assume permit.
yes. But it is being recommended that it is to be approved this evening. That is the recommendation by the planners.
Fellow down. Can you repeat it at all?
The recommendation of
Staff this evening is to recommend approval of the application.
Forget your mic. Speak it slowly.
This application for supportive of the amenity space on top of the
Well, I understand what it says here, but I think whoever it created that what we're doing, that the roof of that existing boat slip, that it cannot be used as a leisure area. I'm saying the same as I put a stone patio in my backyard. It's a leisure area. Enjoy the morning sun, read a book, watch the birds. The sun deck on the roof of the boat slip is only for doing those kind of things, watching the rivers, most beautiful part, the most beautiful sunsets anywhere along Hill Island or on the northwest shore of Benson Park Road. And that's all it is. It's only a leisure area. And it's not used. There won't be a barbecue. I'm sure I haven't discussed that with my neighbors. There won't be power to it. It's just a couple lawn chairs and sit and enjoy. And that seems absolutely ridiculous to be denied.
Understood.
Okay?
Thank
I
you.
won't repeat myself.
Thank you. Are there any further comments online? No other hands are up. So seeing none around the table, I will take a motion to adjourn, which is coming from Counselor Jameson. I need a seconder. Maybe. That the public meeting adjourn. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried.